I'm checking in again with Jeremy Grant today from the Alton Mill here in the gorgeous rural village of Alton, Ontario, less than an hour from Toronto. And we are in a very historical building, the mill, which you see on this photo up here. That's the building that we're in today. It looks a little different, but that's what it looked like about 102 years ago. And this is even 10 years earlier, 1898. And I would imagine, where is the mill? This here?
Right here. That's
right here.
That's
okay,
right.
That's the old. Now, can we still see this house? Is that the house that I was filming up there?
You saw earlier. You saw.
Oh,
there
that
are two houses on the hill, and this house is right behind us, and it is lived in to this day by family members from the original mill owners.
Excellent. What a cool picture. So here we've got the Alton Mill. This is Shaw's Creek, right?
And the mill pond.
A mill pond, and then over here is the Alton, the Millcroft Inn where I'm staying. So two ponds.
That's right.
Right there. And now let's head into the Industrial Heritage Room here. Wow, what do we have in here?
We have a number of pieces of equipment, including just to the right of the steel tank is a wheel and a shaft. And that wheel right now is connected to a generator. And that generator actually is the second generation of energy production here.
Really?
It was added in approximately the mid-1940s. If you go further to the right and keep going, you'll see right there a flathead Ford engine. It's a large pump.
Is that the one towards the wall?
Yes.
This here?
Yes, and that is the engine that was pumping water out of the mill pond to feed the reservoir, the water tank, up at the tower.
Okay.
Further to the right.
The thing that goes into the wall?
Yes, it is a large cast iron. It's almost like an elbow, like a giant plumbing elbow.
Yeah.
And it is the outlet for the water that would have gone through the turbine. And the turbine itself is not visible in the room because it's behind the concrete wall.
Oh, right.
You see an area that's kind of poured concrete. In behind is a turbine. We have the original engineering drawings of the turbine system that are located on a panel just below us. And when we go down the stairs, we'll be able to give you a view of the coal boiler. And what you see right here is the back and side of the original coal boiler.
Wow.
You can see a concave top, which is the fire chamber.
Oh, okay. The coal boiler was used, what, to create steam or heat, or for what purpose?
It was used to create steam heat, which is, of course, how they heated the building in the wintertime. Okay. And
so it was for the heating, okay.
Yes, and this is the engineering drawing from...
Where does it say?
There's a date on this plan. It is from 19... It's so old, and the date is not clearly visible, but it's from a company called Charles Barber and Sons from Meaford, Ontario.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And that company still exists today.
You're kidding.
Yes, in a different, slightly different form. But they still produce turbines.
Really?
And what's really interesting, if you look on the drawing and then look at the reality, a lot of information that's on the drawing is actually intact still. And what's fun, and this is a neat story, which I'll get to in a moment, because right now what you're looking at is the outlet pipe in the main shaft. That was the power takeoff shaft when it was a woolen mill. And then in the foreground right here is an ingenious device called the governor. The governor. And it's a mechanical system that really was a huge advance in technology, because it was able to govern the opening and closing of the gates, or the amount of water flow to come in and out. That makes sense, And it is a huge piece of technology in terms of its intelligence. There are no microchips. No kidding. This thing doesn't have any chips, that much I can tell. It's amazing. And the Barber turbine? Yes, from the Charles Barber Company. Okay. And one of the challenges we had when we did the restoration is this room, because it is in close proximity to the pond. We had water. We had some sources of water coming into the building, and we didn't know where it was from. And it was a very serious concern. So we actually looked closely at the roughly 1910 engineering drawing and discovered on it a small detail that we were able to verify and use that detail to help solve the water problem.
Wow.
Basically, it's all a technical issue, but it demonstrates that when historical records are kept, they someday may come into use and help future generation.
Now, can I ask you, this ancient-looking electrical machine here, what is this? General Electric?
This is part of the electrical system after the turbine system eventually became, it was used to generate electricity, not just for power takeoff. And at that point in time, an electrical system was put in, and this is the control panel. And it was found pretty much intact the way it is today.
Windler Electric Company. Sometimes they put the year on there as well, but I don't really see any dates on here.
I can tell you that going back to the governor, there is a nameplate.
Oh yeah?
With the date. And it's positioned just around the corner.
Oh really?
From Illinois. 1896, I believe.
Wow, fascinating.
And it's really cool.
And it probably still works. If you put it into operation, it would work.
Yes, and we've had school tour groups. Younger grades have come in, grades 5s and 6s from the local school, as well as other schools. And the children are astounded.
Yeah.
They think they've gone to some Never Land.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Something they've never seen before.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
It's right here in their own community.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, to your left is the coal boiler.
Yeah.
See the front face of it?
That's interesting. These round openings, what are they for?
Those were tubes within which would be steel tubes filled with water.
Oh.
So the fire chamber, which is just slightly below.
So the coal would go in here?
The coal would go in there and create the heat. And the tubes contained water-filled tubes.
Oh, that's
which
interesting.
Created steam. And right here is a little remnant, and exactly where we found it.
Really?
All we did to it was we did a basic cleaning, and it's a coal hopper.
Coal hopper.
And coal was shoveled into it from the coal room.
Really?
And by an auger system.
Yeah.
Like a giant
with
corkscrew.
A snail. Yeah.
Would auger the coal directly into the fire chamber.
In there? Isn't that
fascinating? And then the final element of this room that's quite interesting is a display case.
Oh, the found items, yes.
And
7-Up, look at that. That's a different era of 7-Up. Coca-Cola, some horseshoes.
All of these items were found in the building during restoration. And right in the middle of the display case is a small pendant. It's a 1-cent piece.
The pendant, yeah.
And it was found by our construction supervisor. And
is it a Canadian penny?
I believe it is.
You can't really tell. It says 1 cent. What? 1908? Am I reading that right? I can't really tell.
1909.
Oh, 1909.
And then if you look at the panel, the display panel over there, you'll see in the middle of it is a.
Oh yeah, there's the 1 cent exactly. You got it. Right here.
So this room is a really interesting place, and what it also does is gives something else for people to do if they come here for art. Or if someone is interested in heritage and they're maybe not so interested in art, they can do it. They can do both.
The guys come into this room and the ladies go and check out the jewelry.
That's what we find happen. It also is a fantastic place for wedding receptions.
In here?
Wedding couples come in here. We've set a bar up in here.
That's
interesting. It's a very unique space.
Oh, it's very, very unique. It's definitely different. Very interesting also, the ceiling. This looks new, the wooden floor you've got here?
Yes, it is. But a lot of the wood structure is new as well as reclaimed. And what you're looking at now is a ceiling that if you were here 2 years ago, it was a concrete floor. And the space above here was called the compound room. And it was a room that had heavy equipment for mixing rubber and other products.
Yeah, because it was a rubber factory before.
And the concrete floor was about 1 foot thick, and it was sloped.
Wow.
It had a slope to it, and it was very difficult to work with. So we decided to remove the concrete floor and shore up this whole space.
Yeah.
And then reinstated joists out of the original material.
Which would have been, that's how it would have been, right, when it was first built?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the new wood you see, the new floor.
And obviously all new heating and ventilation system.
Yes.
Obviously the infrastructure had to be completely
absolutely
redone.
New.
Yeah.
As well as new windows.
Yeah, new windows, yeah.
The type of windows we use were selected by the architect after much discussion.
Oh yeah?
In order to try to have a heritage feel.
Yeah.
Yet they are thermal pane. They're brand new modern windows.
Yeah.
So we're really happy with them, and they're working very well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for showing me this wonderful, fascinating space.
My pleasure.
Thanks.